Hi and welcome back to another video. Today I would be painting these pretty scarlet poppies with you guys. I'm gonna show you very simple steps of how to do it from the very start to the very end. In my rest of the videos, I usually start by painting the flowers, but here I'm gonna show you the very first step of drawing the poppies. I'm gonna make the pencil sketch with you guys. So this is the technique I have never done before. So I have taken the poppy flower here, I've put it on my sketchbook, and I am just making the outline around the flower. Okay, so I have never done it before. As of now, I don't know how it's going to turn out. So all I'm doing is that I am placing the poppy on my sketchbook in different shapes and forms and making the outline. Here I wanted, the flower to be inverted, but I couldn't keep it like this on my sketchbook, so I was holding it in my hand and making this flower, the pencil sketch. So this is the first video where I'm showing you how I do the pencil sketches. So I am gonna add some leaves here and there because it looks kind of empty with just the poppies. So I'm gonna add and draw the leaves everywhere I can find the space to. So at the beginning of the video, I showed you my watercolor palette, but believe me, I did not use the watercolors for the entire process. So here I had just recently bought the gouache paints, and I'm taking the gouache paint for this one. So I had never used gouache before. This is the very first time I'm using gouache, and it was a bit of a challenge for me, especially for this one, because I usually work with the watercolor. So I added a bit more water to the gouache, and so it obviously was not, flowing like watercolor. So yeah, it was a bit difficult until I figured it out. So all I'm doing is that I am taking the paint and just applying it onto the paper. So I was trying to create some different, tones and tints of the paint by adding water. And that is what I usually do with the watercolor. But then I realized it's all the same for gouache. You just need to add different layers. Once the first layer is dried, that's a different story, so let's not go into that. So when I felt like I'm not able to add, show the distinction of the petals, then I tried to add some white paint. I mixed the white watercolor with the gouache. So it was really trial and error for this one. So here for the biggest poppy, I had just figured out what to do. I was just applying the paint and then lifting off some of the paint from the paper so that I could create some, shades and, light and dark values over the petals. So this was what I figured out while painting these poppies. So the first step was to draw the pencil sketch as always. The second is to paint and add different values wherever necessary to make the different petals distinguishable from one another. So yeah, I think it's turning out very vibrant and beautiful. So for making the petals more visible and distinct from the others, I tried to add a bit of black brown to the gouache and towards the edges of the petals to make them more visible. So now you just have to add the black paint at the center of the flower, just as the poppy is, and then wow, the flowers are done. You just have to add the you have to paint the leaves, and it's almost done. And yeah, so for the leaves I just used watercolor. But for the poppies it was all gouache. And the last and the final step and the very easy step is to add those very fine hair-like structures under these stems that these prickly poppies have. So yeah, you just have to make these stems kind of hairy, and there you go. It's done. Isn't it so beautiful? Like, if you want to try making the poppies, it's not going to take you a lot of time. It's very easy, and you can just be done with this painting in no time. So give it a try. See you in the next video. Bye bye.